Jogdale, Nondalal, and Ferguson go back and forth suing each other. Haitians and Cubans will soon require visas to come to Guyana. And China vendor killed during altercation over vending spot. I am Noriko Pulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Jogdale says he's not paying Ferguson squat, and he has since filed an appeal against the $20 million default libel judgment the court gave in her favor. Jogdale complains that he is dissatisfied with the ruling and wants it to be set aside. The judge has scheduled a damage assessment hearing for July month end. Jogdale was also ordered to pay Ferguson $75,000 in court costs. If you're taking score at home, this is actually the second appeal that he's filed regarding this, meaning that he'd rather pay Nondalal millions to defend him than give Ferguson a dime, even though he knows he's wrong. Ha-ha! He is petty! And speaking of petty politics, Nondalal is turning it right back onto Ferguson and suing her for $20 million for claiming that he passed out fake ID cards on the East Coast on Elections Day. Apparently, Ferguson embarrassed him in front of the foreigners as she made the accusation during a roundtable discussion with the EU elections observers this past March. Ha-ha! You know, the old folks have a saying about this. Do for do is na hobia. Last night, Nondalal announced that the government would soon require visas for Haitian and Cuban nationals amid concerns about a well-organized human trafficking ring. He noted that the opposition will probably make it about race, as they often do, but he swears that this human trafficking ring has now made Guyana a transshipment point for people smugglers, and it really has nothing to do with race, according to him. He said Suriname also faces similar concerns about the legal arrival of large numbers of Haitians, but the records show that only a small number of them legally leave the country, often taking the back truck to Guyana and on to Brazil, where they search for work. Currently, Guyana is one of only 3 CARICOM countries who do not require Haitians to obtain visas. Yesterday, 36-year-old truck driver Sheldon Wilson collapsed at the wheel, sending his truck over the edge of the John Fernandez wharf on Water Street. Around 12:30 p.m., Wilson had picked up a load of chicken feed from the wharf before pulling off. However, his vehicle went head-on over the rails and into the river. Several persons jumped into the river to rescue Wilson from the truck. He was taken to the hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this Nissan Juke. It comes with mag rims, new tires, DVD, stereo, reverse camera, rear spoiler, and much more. Buy cash for $2.9 million, or pay down as low as $580,000 with around $66,000 monthly for 4 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamont Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. A fight over a vending spot at Starbrook yesterday has left one man dead and another in police custody. Popular boiled china vendor Robert Bissett, aka Brick, was stabbed to death on Tuesday afternoon after the shouting match between the two men escalated into a frighteningly brilliant display of violent ignorance that would have been described as cartoonish in nature if it wasn't real. According to eyewitnesses, Brick was the one to escalate the situation by threatening to juke the man with an ice pick. But once it was all said and done, it was actually the other vendor who ended up repeatedly stabbing Brick in the back in front of everyone in the market. He fled the scene but was caught a short distance away. On Wednesday, 28-year-old repeat offender and complete idiot Alvin Archer was remanded to prison for allegedly snatching the purse of a U.S. Coast Guard officer who was here for the ongoing military training exercise. I mean, seriously, the last person you want to rob. Idiot! He pleaded not guilty to the simple larceny charge, despite the fact that the officer and her colleagues literally chased the man right into the arms of a nearby cop on patrol near the Starbrook Market. The prosecutor objected to bail since he is currently before the court on similar charges. In March, Archer appeared twice on similar charges. Worse yet, this is even after he was given a second chance at life, because in 2017, he was among the 57 prisoners granted early release from Camp Street Prison for good behavior. But his good behavior and a failed justice system won't get him off this time, as he was remanded to prison until July 7th, 2021. Today, the World Bank approved a US $6.7 million grant for the Guyana Education Sector Program project. This project aims to improve learning in nursery schools, increase technology use in primary schools, and improve the functionality of the National Education Management Information System. This includes a program to train teachers at all levels and to massively increase the use of smart boards, computers, and tablets in schools. And thirdly, it will focus on moving to a digital record-keeping system instead of the, stupid antiquated method of having teachers write down all the records in triplicate by hand. This project will complement two ongoing projects financed by the World Bank: the Education Sector Improvement Project, which focuses on UG, and the Secondary Education Improvement Project, which focuses on secondary schools, obviously. So, if the project is successful, we may actually start moving our nation's education into the 21st century. Wonderful. A quick cent is better than a slow dollar. Sell digital top-up and watch your money grow. This is one of the simplest investments you can make to let your money earn you money. Call 685-3109 and get started today. It's now time for today's Runner Report. Today, the nation recorded 125 new cases. There are now 454 persons dead, 20 persons in the ICU, 1,473 persons in home isolation. And the total number of confirmed cases now stands at 19,359. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave your home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. 19-year-old O'Brien Punai is currently fighting for his life after his drunken idiot of a father stabbed him with a screwdriver on Monday night. According to the cops, the teen was stabbed in the chest because he asked his father and his drinking buddies to quiet down since he wanted to sleep. The police are now hunting the 43-year-old father of number 55 Village Quarantine Babies, but for some reason they didn't think it would be helpful to share his name or even his photo with the media. So you just booked a flight from New York to Guyana. The flight costs roughly $300. With a total of just 22 kilos, your flight cost is taken care of. And as for you shippers, stop wasting half your day online just to be overcharged for multiple day shipping that may or may not get there on time. Go to ferryshareglobal.com and become a member today. A fire in Roxanne Burnham Gardens on Tuesday has left a family of 5 homeless. By the time the fire service came to the 2-story wooden home, it was already engulfed in flames. The family says they were unable to save anything. Fortunately, there were no injuries. The fire service is currently investigating the cause of the blaze. And now for our stupid news of the day. Usually I'd use this time to talk about something that vexes me in this nation. But this time I have to say that I am truly concerned for the nation. Everyone is so full of anger and ready to strike the first person to get in their way. Man beats wife, man stabs son, man chops man in a drunken rage. Every day there is another report of another violent altercation. At this point, I fear we're going to either kill each other out on the roads or in the rum shops before we even get to reap any of the benefits of the oil revenue. I genuinely believe it's because this country neglected to educate the whole child. We focus so much on academics, but we never teach the children how to deal with their peers with respect, or how to manage their emotions, or even basic conflict resolution. But when they go astray and commit crimes, we say, throw them in jail. But we never ask what made them so violent in the first place. Statistically, violent adults were childhood victims or witnesses of violence. Since this government is getting money to improve childhood education, I hope they think to allocate some of those funds to improving the support systems for our nation's children. Hey Guyanese business people, are you looking for a great way to advertise your business? Search no more. Join one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Register your business on snap.gy and get access to more eyeballs. And wait for the best part, it's absolutely free. Get your business listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, do you think the GCOM trio will actually be dismissed once their leave is over, or will the opposition cook up something else to delay the inevitable? Jay Jairam said, the opposition is definitely cooking up something to delay or to stop the firing. Stacey Hamilton says they're getting sent home after the administrative leave. Leah Cole said, if the GCOM trio is culpable of defrauding the country and their duties, then they should be suspended with pay until the case is settled by the court, and dismissal would be the right thing to do. The opposition has no more cards to play, so they need to give up and settle down. And finally, Owen Bruce said they will definitely be dismissed. Every public servant knows once someone is sent on administrative leave, they rarely come back, especially if they are contracted workers. All good points. So for tonight's question, what are some of the things you would like to see happen in the education sector? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.